In Module 4, Lesson 10, we're going to practice writing and expanding multiplication expressions. We're starting off, and they're asking us to write each expression using the fewest number of symbols and characters. And we use math terms to describe the expressions and parts of the expressions. So first of all, we have 6 times b, and we would write that as 6b. The shortest way possible. Next we have 4 times 3 times h. 4 times 3 we know is 12, and 12 times h is 12h. There's our shortest version. The next one, letter C, we have 2 times 2 times 2, which we know is 8, times A times B. And when we have variables, remember we can write them without any symbols in between. So we have 8AB, 8 times A times B. Then we have some numbers that are mixed in with the variables. Now let's remember that multiplication is commutative. So in this example, we could move all of the numbers next to each other and all the variables next to each other. And perhaps that looks a little easier for you. 5 times 3 is 15 times m times p. 15mp. And then in E, we have 1 times g times w. 1 times anything is itself. So 1 times g is g times w is gw. There's our shortest version. Now in example 2, we're going to expand the multiplication expressions by including the multiplication symbol, the dot, back into the expressions. So we have 5 times g, then we have 7 times a, times b, times c. Then we have in C, we have 12 times G, it almost seems too easy, doesn't it? Then we have 3 times H times 8, because that was already there. Next we have 7 times G times 9 times H. So in example 3, they're asking us to find the product of 4 times F times 7 times G, keeping in mind what we did in the last example. So if we expand our problem, we would have 4 times F times 7 times G. But remember, multiplication is commutative. So we now can move the numbers next to each other. 4 times 7 times F times G. And that will give us 28FG. Let's try it again. We're going to multiply 3DE times 9YZ. So let's expand it. 3 times D times E. Oops, a little symbol in there. Times 9 times Y times Z. And again, let's use the commutative property to move our numbers next to each other. 3 times 9 times D times E times Y times Z. And that will give us 3 times 9, which is 27. D, E, Y, Z. Next, we're asked to double the product of 6Y and 3BC. Now let's look at this. When you double something, you're multiplying it times 2. So we have 2 times the product of 6Y and 3BC. So we'll put it in parentheses just to prove. 6 times Y times 3 times B times C, all inside parentheses. Now, before we do anything else with it, let's just look. Multiplication, 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 multiplication. Will it really matter if we multiply all of these first and then multiply times 2? Or is multiplication commutative and associative, meaning that we can put the grouping symbols anywhere and we have the same number? It is, of course, associative as well as commutative. So we can move the numbers around and the letters around. It doesn't matter because it's all multiplication. That being said, let's go back and move everything around. 2 times 6 times 3. We'll put all our numbers together. And then our variables, Y, B, and C. And then finally, do the multiplication. 2 times 6 is 12, times 3 is 36. And our variables altogether, Y, B, C. So in review, an expression in expanded form, it's written as sums and or differences of products whose factors are numbers, variables, or variables raised to whole number powers, is said to be written in expanded form. You know how to do it. You went through the examples. Don't let the words at the end of lessons sometimes confuse you. If you know what you're doing, keep on going. Keep on doing.